Tonight, I'm sitting down one-on-one with the only woman in the Jacksonville Sheriff's race, Lakesha Burton. She recently retired from the Sheriff's office after a career of more than 2 decades in law enforcement. Burton will tell you she's lived a life of trials and triumph, and she says those life lessons will help her build a relationship with the community. So my first question for you, why did you decide to enter the Sheriff's race?
Why did I decide? I've been saying this from day one, that I feel like it's time for change.
Lakesha Burton says that change needs to start within the Jacksonville Sheriff's office.
And I can tell you, any person that wants to lead this agency and they're not bold enough to speak truth about the change of culture that needs to take place, they don't need to be the sheriff.
The Jacksonville native says she wants to be a leader who is involved in the community.
Your sheriff has to be somebody who's visible, accessible, and accountable, and that will be on the forefront in answering people's questions and walking people through the why, what, and when things are happening.
I asked Burton about the former sheriff, Mike Williams. She was one of his assistant chiefs. The answer I received:
I'm not thinking about Mike Williams. He's gone now. I'm thinking about the next steps. We have people dying in our streets every single day.
Burton's story of how she chose her career is personal.
At the age of 11 to 14 years old, I was sexually abused, which my life spiraled out of control.
But it's a story she doesn't mind sharing because the wife, mother, and now grandmother of 5 believes it shows people anyone can turn their life around.
I experienced drugs, alcohol, promiscuity, homelessness, and hopelessness, and I was even arrested before.
She says it was the compassion of a police officer who helped her during a tough time that caused her to consider a job in law enforcement, a career that's lasted for 24 years.
18 of those 24 years I've been in a supervisory leadership role, so I earned every rank available within the agency: sergeant, lieutenant. I had the honor of being the first female executive director over the Police Athletic League, which is JSO's signature nonprofit.
I asked Burton about the violence and shootings in the city and her plans for fixing the problem.
And quite frankly, it's been going on for far too long. Matter of fact, it's worse and it's unacceptable. So what we need to do is look at it from a different lens. We need to look at more education, more prevention and intervention, and enforcement.
And when it comes to transparency in the sheriff's office, she had this to say:
I am exploring what can we do to address the transparency issue. So we're going to be looking at exploring perhaps FDLE coming in and really investigating our officer-involved shootings. I think that there are several positives to that.
And First Coast News has invited the other 4 candidates for Jacksonville Sheriff to sit down with us. Our interview with TK Waters is up right now on the website, firstcoastnews.com, and we'll bring you the other profiles in the coming days and weeks.